Is this new wave of buyers going to bail out desperate sellers? I'm going to talk about that in the latest home prices and insights for Peel and Durham for week ending February 22, 2023. So we've been talking about this for several weeks now. It seems there's a greater intensity to buy, that all of a sudden we're seeing lots and lots of buyers fighting over few crumbs, it seems, just a few listings that are out there, and it's causing lots of offer nights and lots of multiple offers, and it's causing properties to sell over asking. We're also seeing lots of sellers that are in trouble. Look, the majority of sellers out there are in great situations, but there's sellers, more so than normal, that we've personally seen have some financial problems. They're behind on their property taxes. They're behind on their mortgage payments. They're behind on their utility bills. We've seen sellers that come closing time have delayed closing just because they're having a hard time clearing off their mortgage, their private mortgages, some of them. So we've seen more issues like this than we would normally see in past markets. But I know some of these sellers are also thinking that because of this new wave of buyers and again, more multiple offers than we thought was going to happen at this time of year, they're expecting these buyers to bail them out in a sense where they're going to get so much more money for their homes because it's multiple offers. That's not happening. The buyers today are very different than the buyers in the market that we had a year ago. The buyers today have a different affordability issue than what buyers had a year ago. A year ago, interest rates were practically nil. Today, whole different stories. And today, the buyers going into the buying process thinking there's a chance prices could still come down further. Whereas a year ago, buyers were only thinking one thing: I know it's high now, but it's going to get higher. That's what was on buyers' mind, and that's why they were willing to overpay. Today, mentality is different. So we are seeing prices creeping up. We are seeing buyers paying a little bit more than what a previous home sold for in that neighborhood, but we're not seeing the crazy numbers like before where one home sells today and tomorrow the other one's 100,000 more in the same neighborhood. We're not seeing that. Buyers today have a different mentality than what the buyers had a year ago. And so, no, they're not bailing out these sellers. They're paying what we would consider fair market value or a little bit more. Now, fair market value is solely in relation to market activity in that neighborhood. What's worse is some of these sellers that are thinking this, I see them being represented by agents who tell them exactly that, and it's just the wrong information. It's not true. Look, if you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you're getting value out of this video, consider subscribing. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Okay, so Mississauga, Brampton, Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby, that's what we're going to talk about today. Here's a quick summary. These numbers are average sold prices for detached properties only. Mississauga in blue heading up, Brampton in green came down one week to the next, and Durham region, which is Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby, is headed upwards, but Durham region and Brampton pretty close together when it comes to average sold prices. We're going to start off with Mississauga. 32 detached properties were sold for week ending February 22. 5 of those were at $2 million or more, and 5 properties selling at $2 million or more. I'm just going back. The last time we had 5 in 1 week was November 30th. So it's been a while since we've seen that many properties selling at $2 million or more in Mississauga. Naturally, from 1 week to the next, because of that, prices or average sold prices are going up, but they've been going up for a while now. Sales have been going up almost weekly since the beginning of this year. Average sold prices have been trending up. The average sold price for week ending February 22 in Mississauga, $1,601,000. 1,601 is 12% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Weeks prior to this week, we've been 20% lower, 29% lower, 34% lower. This week, we're only 12% lower than where the price was a year ago. The median price of $1,418,000 is 15% lower than the median price a year ago. But a year ago, that was a year ago. Doesn't matter today, right? What's the trend today? That's the most important part of all of this. Well, if we look at this year and we look at the dotted lines for average sold price and for median price, the dotted line is a 4-week moving average. We can see average price and median price the course of this year trending upwards. Sales, they've also, generally speaking, not every single week, but generally speaking, have been trending upwards. Not by a lot. We would have expected, well, I would have expected that as we get closer to the spring market, sales increase, but increase more than what they're increasing right now. Look, they're going up, not by that much though, but they are increasing, which is kind of considered normal. They should be getting, increasing every single week. And of the 32 that sold, 22% sold at list price or more. So there's some competition, not a lot. Listings have been kind of flat. We listed 67 this past week for week ending February 22. And remember, this is for detached properties only. The previous week, 64. Previous week, 60. So yeah, they're increasing, but by 2 or 3 each week. It's not that much. Kind of flat. And active listings also kind of flat. They're going up, but not by much. Months of inventory stayed the same from 1 week to the next, sitting at 1.7, but has come down from the beginning of the year. So as months of inventory come down, average sold prices go up. That is what I would say is a normal relationship between months of inventory and prices. Not every market is behaving normally, but this would be normal. Let's look at Brampton. 33 detached properties were sold. It's the second week in a row sales have come down. So sales went up and now they're going down again. That would not be considered normal this time of year. One property sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,184,000, which is down from the previous week. $1,184,000 is 26% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Look at this. This year, one property sold at $1 million or more. Last year at this time, 20 properties sold at, sorry, did I say at $1 million or more? It's at $2 million or more. One property sold this year at $2 million or more. Last year, 20 sold at $2 million or more. It's like science fiction what happened a year ago, it seems. Median price is $1,132,000, and that's 26% lower than where the median price was a year ago, and the average sold price is also 26% lower than where it was a year ago. For the average sold price, seems, although it's up and down, seems kind of flat. Median price looks like it's been going up, trending upwards this year, but average sold price kind of flat. Sales, look, of the 33 that sold, almost a third, 30%, sold at list price or more. So there's some competition in the Brampton area there for detached properties. But when we look at sales, especially compared to last year, we're way off the pace of what we were selling last year. Listings kind of flat. 88 detached properties were listed for week ending February 22. Hasn't been much movement since middle of January when it comes to weekly new listings. And months of inventory climbed up. It's been climbing up now for 3 weeks in a row. It's now sitting at 2.2 months of inventory. Let's look at the Durham region. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. Sales, 22 detached properties were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. Sales have gone up, and now they're starting to come down again, which kind of not expected, but that's what's happening. Average sold price climbed up. It's now sitting at $1,154,000. $1,154,000 is 24% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. You look at some of these numbers though, 24% lower, 33% lower, lots of 33s and mid 20s. Prices they went up quite a bit a year ago, and now they're coming down in the Durham region. So average sold price we said is 24% lower than a year ago. The median price of $1,010,000 is 31% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And both average sold price and median price are trending downwards in Durham region. Very different than a lot of the other neighborhoods. Very different than the city of Toronto, Peel region, very different. Of the 22 that sold though, here's what doesn't make a lot of sense. 77% sold at list price or more. You figured prices, when it's that much competition that so many are selling at list price or more, prices would be going up even more. It's not the case. Listings, kind of flat, 57 new detached listings. Months of inventory has been trending upwards over the last few weeks, now sitting at 1.3 months of inventory. Here's condos. This is for all of Peel region condos. Now most of these condos are being bought and sold in Mississauga, but this is for all of Peel region. 26 condos were sold. No condo sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price has been hovering around the 590s for the last few weeks. This week it's sitting at $589,000. 589 is 22% lower than where condo prices were a year ago. Median price of $576 is also 22% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And if we look, we can see it's difficult to see, but prices for both average and median have been, looks like, trending upwards, but not by much. And what happens in this next few weeks is going to maybe change the trajectory for average sold price, maybe. Sales way off the pace from where we were a year ago. The percentage of condos selling at list price or more though has been increasing over the last few weeks, now sitting at 35% of all the condo sales that week sold at list price or more. Listings, 65 were listed, so listings been kind of flat. Now they're coming down. We figured more condos would be coming onto the market. That's not happening right now. And months of inventory sitting at 2.7 months of inventory, which is kind of in line since middle of January. We've been seeing 2.6, 2.8. Got a couple of weeks where it came down, but we're back up to 2.7 months of inventory. Here's a summary of months of inventory. Still low, still very much what we call a seller's market, but it's a different kind of seller's market than what we used to say was a seller's market in the peak. Competition, yeah, there's some competition out there, but there's some opportunities to negotiate. It's so important when the market is like this, and very different in each neighborhood, that you're working with a realtor who has their pulse on what's happening. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.